Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm currently heading to a little spot where it's close to my heart purely because it's my old stomping ground when I was a child. See, I'm the generation that technology was just coming in. Smartphones wasn't a thing. To have a phone, yeah, you'd be lucky. But I'm gonna sound old. But I'm not. Yet on the same hand, technology has taken over and has moved so fast at a pace that we can't keep up with it. So the place I'm going to is between a village called Claygate and another village called Oxshott, both in Surrey. And between the two, just before you hit Chesington, is a nice woodland. It's a lovely, lovely woodland, quite fast in size. And I'm just gonna head down there now and have a wander around. Not only am I going to have a wander around, I'm going to walk the dog, I've got the dog with me, and then we're going to get set up somewhere. And this time I'm hoping to do the time lapse. I know I keep saying it, but I want to do a time lapse today because I've now got a ridge line, a permanent ridge line on my tarp. So we're going to have a look at how that goes, and yeah, we'll take it from there. It's all a learning curve, you know. So I'll check back in with you when I get to where I'm going, because currently I'm driving and I shouldn't be on my phone. I've got a motorbike behind me and there's lots of cars around me. It's Saturday, so we're one day away from Sunday drivers. So I'll check back in very shortly. We're off to Claygate and Oxshott Woods to build my tarp, to walk the dog, and to see if the ridge line I have created works. I'll check back in shortly. Right, okay, welcome back. I just drove down about half an hour from where I live. This Claygate Oxshott Woods is quite good. Reason why it's good: one, because it's quite dense, it's quite thick in places. No one's ever going to know I'm here. And two, you listen carefully, that's the sound of the A3. Okay, so say later on tonight I'm tracing about, breaking some sticks underneath my foot. No one's going to pay attention to it because the A3 is currently drowning out any noise from in here. I've just selected this little area here, nice little bit of clearing. All I see is wild tracks. All I'm looking at is wild tracks in and out. I don't see footprints, I don't see a main track. I'm off the beaten path. It's actually a really good spot. The only thing which may become problematic is the trees are actually quite thin. Okay, I don't think this is a plantation that's been here for that long. Maybe 20-25 years. Whatever happened to the trees beforehand, they must have come through. I saw that they were all a bit ill and not very well. Chopped them all down because I'm seeing a few stumps. But for me, this is brilliant. Really good little spot. I have to try and remember my way in, so then I can potentially come back and use this in the near future. Ground's a bit wet. I haven't taken my ground sheet out of my bag yet, but there's my bag. Yeah, so all I've done there, right, okay, was I held the bag towards a tree. I got a nice thick piece of dead wood, put it through the straps, tightened up the straps, and now that will sit there happily. I can take my stuff out of it, and yeah, we'll go from there. What we're going to do now is I'm going to set up my camera, over this way, put that on a time lapse, and then I'm going to crack on, set up my tarp and hammock, and yeah, see what happens. See you in a bit. That's it, we're all set up. Took a little bit longer than anticipated, purely because it's the first time I've used a ridgeline as such. Before, all I've done was tied a bit of string to either end of the poncho or the basher or the top, either corner, a bit of string to each tree. It just worked. It worked. I'll go over there in a sec. I'll run you through a few things which I'll come to find. So then, little setup. Something about this ridgeline which I'm not enjoying at the moment, because when it's tied off to a tree, okay, say one end is tied off to a tree, you don't get all this crimple. It's just crimpling up because it keeps slipping down the bloody line. So I need to go ahead and make this slip be able to bungee a little bit, maybe with the bungee cords. When I get them later on, it will stop that from happening. But all I keep having to do is pull it up one way, and look, it's not even over that carabiner. So I think we're going to have to reset this, absolutely. Why do we need to reset that? Because if this tarp isn't over that carabiner, if it starts to rain like it was last night, the rain will be hitting this piece of string. That water's just going to follow along. If my drip line there doesn't stop the water from hitting my basher, yeah, that's the drip line, all that water's going to build up at the end of there, and I'm going to get a soggy bum. Okay, so I need to reset that. To reset that, I'm also going to have to undo all of the guides and go from there. Dog's over there, got camera on the time lapse over there. Never done a time lapse before, so we're going to see how that goes. So I'll see what it's like just pulling it along, but obviously that's not going to help. That's not going to help the situation whatsoever. My water's on the boil. That's starting to boil up nicely. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to make myself a coffee. I'll check back in. Okay, I just had a bit of a tidy round. I just made a coffee, and still got some hot pans, and the gas was laying around, and I've got a dog here, so I love him to death, but he's not the strongest tool in the toolbox. Oh yeah, mate. He is lovely. He is lovely. You might be able to see him in the video. I don't know what's going on. Oh yeah, because I'm talking about you, mate, isn't it? Siberian Husky for you. Very intelligent animals. I think this one's a little bit broken where he's been brought up with two cats, so I think he thinks he's a cat sometimes, but I don't know. Whatever way you swing, mate. Hey, I'm just going to turn the camera around again. I'm going to show you some adjustments which I quickly made. And now I'm going to sit down here, enjoy my scran, and yeah, just chill for a bit. There's my pup. As you can see, he's loving life. He's obviously got himself in a bit of a tangle over there, so I'm going to sort that out once anything that's hot is out of the way. His water bowl is over there. I kept that out of the way because I was cooking. So he's going to have a bit of a wander, probably tangle himself up some more. I've got the camera over there doing a bit of a time lapse. I keep meaning to do time lapse, I've never done it before. It's Bowie's short lead, just hanging from the tree, so I know where it is. Obviously I've done some crazy ass knot up there, a bit of a slip knot with so many different clothes hitches going through it. Made the adjustments up here, so that way we're not looking at, okay, it's just covering that carabiner. I can pull it a bit tighter, but if I get my hammock later on, and when I get my hammock later on, that's literally going to pull that tight, and that will be underneath. Okay, don't forget what we're doing is this degree angle as well, whatever that is, probably about 35 to 40, and I think that's pretty spot on. As you can see, there's no more sag in the middle. I've tightened that as much as I could, and then I've obviously pulled out the guides and readjusted them. I'll come round to this side. Got my jacket hanging up in a tree just in case when I need that. My Bergen is still on the tree, taking things out of it. Over here I've got my flex tail going. I've got my I'm going to turn that to red. Get that going. Good. Basically green is just general camping. Red is a bit more focused on your area. I've got my flex tail out because I had a mosquito land on me, and I'm not happy because I've already got 9 bites from last week. 9 bites, yes, I was saying, from last weekend. 3 on my inner left thigh, 3 on my right leg. I've got also 3 across the spine of my back. How do they get there? I have no idea, but they did. Bowie's happy, he's eating a twig and a stick. I have my coffee and my breakfast, and then I'll untangle him and let him run about a bit more. I think it's a good plan. I just thought I'd quickly apologise. I just noticed I've been filming and I haven't had for stabiliser on. So you're probably all thinking like, damn, I feel like I'm being on a roller coaster or something. Yeah, it's not good when you get a video and it's jumping around, is it? So I think my next investment will be a good mobile gimbal, or I might even go for a GoPro or some form of action camera for the filming, and then just use the camera on my phone for the still pictures. Not sure. I will figure it out, because as we continue to learn, and as we continue to learn these knots and putting up bashers and flint and steel lighting and whittling and other things about bushcraft which I really enjoy, as I go through the process, we'll come to the point where it can only go up, isn't it? We can only get better. If we practice something, we can only get better at it. If you've got a tent which you never really put up before and you struggle with that, get down the park, find some open ground, open up that tent, give it a go. If you've got a hammock which you never put up before, get down the woods. Yeah, you don't have to stay out. It's just about going through the motion and continually to practice what you want to do. Yeah, wild camping for me, it's great. I love it. It would be better if I didn't have the A3 behind me somewhere, probably about 600 to 800 metres that is. So I'm not far off the A3 whatsoever. But I chose this spot, like I said, is because it will drown out any sounds. I've got a husky. He talks to me quite a lot. I want to drown out the sounds as well because of when I'm building a basher or when I'm doing a bit of woodwork. I think this will be a good spot for a community camp. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, all the best.